You know, when it comes to birthdays, it feels like there are really only two kinds of people in the world.
So on one side, you've got the people who throw a full-on festival. We're talking balloons, cakes, a million Instagram stories, the whole shebang. And then, on the other side, you have the folks for whom it's, well, just another Tuesday. Just coffee, work, the same old routine.
And it's so easy to just label that second group, right? To call them boring, or maybe even think something's wrong. But is it really that simple? Is it some sign of depression? Or is it maybe a quiet signal of maturity? Or could there be something way more complicated going on inside their heads?
Well, today, we're going to find out. We are performing what I like to call a psychological autopsy on this whole idea of birthday apathy. We're going to dig deep and try to figure out if this behavior is a sign of old trauma, or maybe, just maybe, a sign of some serious emotional strength.
Okay, so our first stop on this investigation brings us to a really powerful defense mechanism, a kind of psychological shield. We'll call it the protective wall.
Now, the technical term for this is learned helplessness. And what that basically means is that when you've been disappointed time and time again, your brain actually learns to just switch off excitement. It's a survival tactic to avoid the pain of getting let down one more time.
And you can totally see how this starts. Just imagine being a little kid, absolutely buzzing for your birthday party, and nobody shows up. Or maybe your family was just always too swamped, too stressed to really make you feel special on that day.
Well, that happens enough times, your brain learns this really brutal, simple math that gets burned into your subconscious. Expectation always equals disappointment.
So here's the key takeaway for this group. When someone says, "Oh, it's just another day," it might not be because they're indifferent. It's a shield. They're not boring, they're protecting themselves. Because letting themselves hope for a celebration and risking that hope being crushed again just hurts way too much.
All right, let's shift gears now. Our next case isn't really shaped by pain from the past, but by an absolutely overwhelming present. Welcome to what we're calling the survival treadmill.
The big concept here is something called time blindness. And think of it like this. Your brain goes into this super efficient energy-saving mode. When you're completely overloaded with just trying to survive, it starts deleting what it thinks is non-essential. And you know what often gets tagged as non-essential? Feeling festive.
And this happens when you are just stuck on the fast track of modern life. I mean, you're just constantly juggling work, deadlines, maybe exams, bills, family stress. Your entire focus just shrinks down to, how do I get through today?
And this breakdown, it's just perfect. Life becomes this functioning loop. You've got your morning meetings, which roll right into your afternoon deadlines, which, surprise, surprise, leads straight to evening exhaustion. In a cycle that relentless, where would you even find a minute to celebrate?
So this distinction is so important. For these people, it's not that you've lost the desire to celebrate, you've literally lost the time and the mental bandwidth to even process that feeling. Your birthday comes and goes and you barely even noticed.
Okay, but this is where our little autopsy kicks a really fascinating twist. What if ignoring your birthday has nothing to do with trauma or stress? What if it's actually a sign of incredible emotional strength? That brings us to our final subject, the inner fortress. The psychological idea behind this is called self-determination theory. And to put it simply, it's the idea that real, lasting happiness doesn't come from the outside, from parties or likes on a post. It comes from an internal sense of purpose, control, and your own self-worth.
And you can see the contrast so clearly here. A lot of people run on external validation. They need the cake, they need the social media shoutouts to feel important. But this third group, they operate from a place of internal control. They get their happiness from their own growth, their own sense of peace.
So when you look at it through this lens, treating your birthday like just another day isn't sad at all. It's actually the ultimate flex. It's this quiet, confident statement that your value as a person isn't tied to one day on a calendar.
And this quote just says it all. It's the voice of someone whose inner monologue is basically, I don't need all the candles and cake to prove I'm valuable. I already know I'm important, and I don't need an annual reminder. So let's be absolutely crystal clear here. This isn't about being lonely or antisocial. This is a really profound form of emotional maturity. You just don't need the outside world to throw a party to remind you that you exist and that you matter.
So now, after going through all of this, the final question really turns to you. It's time for you to deliver your own verdict. Is this birthday apathy of yours coming from a place of pain, or is it coming from a place of peace?
So I want you to ask yourself, honestly,
Is treating your birthday like a normal day a protective wall that you built a long time ago to keep from getting hurt? Or is it an inner fortress that you live in because you've genuinely found peace and validation all on your own?
Because you see, at the end of the day, it's not really about whether or not you blow out candles on a cake. The real question that this whole autopsy brings up is this: where do you find the celebration of your own existence? Is it something you look for from the outside world, or is it something you've already found within?
So, what's your verdict? Based on everything we've looked at today, where do you see yourself? Are you the person protecting yourself from past trauma, the person who's just too busy, or have you reached that state of powerful emotional maturity? It's a pretty interesting question to think about.